Hello friends, it's Simone. Yep, you're seeing correctly, I have a new pen. I talked about this pen in my wish list video and I pulled the trigger. I sold 2 pens and so I was able to purchase this one. This pen is the Sailor Pro Gear Imperial Black and with a medium nib. And I pulled the trigger on this one because first of all, I am really smitten with the color of this pen. It's a matte black finish. The trimming is black. Well, it's supposed to be black. There is a silver anchor on the finial. This back finial is just regular black and it feels silky smooth. The section looks like this. I already dipped this in ink, so I need to clean it still. And the nib is also black. And it is a 21 karat gold nib in medium. I have talked about this pen as an alternative pen to the Yoseka Origin because I just wasn't sure if I would be willing to spend the money on that pen when there are other beautiful pens out there. And then this pen was mentioned on my Discord before my wish list video, and it's just so affordable on Amazon that I just couldn't really justify purchasing the Yoseka Origin Pro Gear. They look totally different in color for sure, but I'm actually really glad that I got this one. So now I have pushed off the Sailor Pro Gear Yoseka Origin until further towards the end of the year, and I'm going to use this for a while and then test a broad 21 karat Pro Gear nib for at the pen show. Maybe my friend Maria also offered to loan me her broad nibbed Pro Gear, and then see if that is one that I would like to add to my collection or not. I'm also considering maybe if this is really amazing, I might add that medium origin at a later date. So I want to compare this pen to some other pens that I have. Let's start with the smaller pens. This is a smaller pens. No, the affordable pens from my collection, which are the TWSBI Eco. So I am going to line up the bottom edge here. This one is not straight, so we need to make sure that we line these up at the same edge right here. And then here is a Lamy. This is a Lamy All-Star in bronze. It is the same length and shape as a Lamy Safari. So these two are the most affordable. This is the only TWSBI Eco that I still have in my collection, and I just realized that I need to keep it if I want to compare it to other pens. The Pro Gear is definitely shorter. If we uncap this, in my hand, this is very borderline for my hands to not post. If we post this, this is what it looks like. This is a very comfortable pen to post for me. It's one of the only pens that I would post. The Lamy 2000 would be one that I would post as well. So if I post this and put it in here, and then the TWSBI Eco is not a pen that I would post, as well as the Lamy as a pen that I don't post. So now they're pretty much shorter. If I would post these, this is what the Lamy looks unposted in my hand. The reason why I don't post this is because it's perfectly long enough to stick out a tiny bit here. This is how I like my pens to lay in my hand. It's perfectly balanced. Let's see how it looks when it's still balanced, but it has a little, like it starts falling backwards. So I would, and it also gets really long. This is not comfortable in my opinion. So I don't post this. Let's see how the TWSBI Eco is in my hand. Same as the Lamy Safari. And then posted, this becomes, in my opinion, oh, and it actually, if I hold it here, it will fall backwards. So this is just nothing that I would want. If I don't post a pen, I either keep it in my left hand like this, or I put it here, or I lose it. If I didn't want to lose and post, then I would only have pens that are this kind of length. So now the difference between the Lamys and the Eco, well, the Lamy, the Eco, and the Pro Gear is the size of the nib. This is definitely a bigger nib. And I guess that means that I would also show you some gold nibbed pens as well. So we can compare those two. I had pulled out the Esterbrook SD, and I also have the Pro Gear King of Pens. I think this is definitely interesting to see how they compare in size. I unfortunately don't have a Pro Gear Slim anymore, but I think the jump in size from the Pro Gear Slim to the Pro Gear is like just a tiny bit, maybe 5% bigger. And then the Pro Gear King of Pen is just so much more blown up, out of proportion. It is a very comfortable pen for me. But it's definitely so much bigger than the Pro Gear. Okay, so let's put the Esterbrook SD over here. I think I'm going to put the Pilot Custom 74. Sorry, my brain was like brain farting me right now. And then I will also pull out the Lamy 2000, because that also has a really weird gold nib. So these four are gold nibbed pens. The Esterbrook SD is a steel nib. Price wise, this is usually, I think, $495. If you go to any of the pen retailers, that's what this price is. This one was around $180. This one is super expensive. I don't actually even know the retail price for this one. This retails around $230, if I'm not mistaken. This retails currently around $175. And then the Pro Gear on Amazon was $230 with taxes. So I think it was $213. So I feel like these three all are in a similar price range. These are also some of the gold nibbed pens that people purchase often as their first gold nib pen. So I thought it would be a good comparison. For me, this Custom 74 is a very narrow pen. It's a very good nib, and that's why I do not haven't let it go yet. I don't think I will. This is a very sentimental pen to me. This is my first gold nib pen. But if I'm just showing you how they lay in my hand, just so that you can see it in comparison. I don't normally tend to post this, even though it works and is comfortable, just because it becomes quite long. Then the Esterbrook SD is also one of those borderline pens. It works okay, but I think I would often, several people say they can't post SDs, but if I put the cap on the back, I don't feel like that's a problem. Now this one, I feel like I should post. I don't really know why, because I feel like if I post this one, I should also post that one. The difference between the Custom 74 and the Esterbrook SD, again, is the size of nib. And then again, let's just, for completion's sake, let's put this here. This is the Posty pen. And to me, this posts deeply enough. It's just this smidgen shorter that it doesn't feel unwieldy. So it's like a centimeter shorter here. Nib size wise, it's very comparable to a regular number 6 nib. And then let's just, for the fun of it, look at the Pro Gear King of Pens nib. This is a huge nib. Humongous. And then lastly, the Lamy 2000. This is another one of the pens that I post. It's, I guess, of the gold nibs, this and this, the Pro Gear and the Lamy 2000 would be the pens that I post. And the Lamy 2000 nib is a teeny tiny nib. It's a hooded nib, and it's basically maybe this much longer to here. So if we compare these, and then maybe even this one here. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Okay, so let me put this over here. The King of Pens with its long nib is almost as long as the SD unposted. Let me put this posted right here. And then this one right here. And I seem to be liking my black pens at the moment. I really like this. So let me quickly give you the details of the size of this pen. The Pro Gear grip section is 10.81 millimeters at around here. It is capped. It is 12.8 centimeters. Uncapped, it is 11.5 centimeters. Did I say centimeters before? And posted, it is 14.9 centimeters. The weight is 25 grams capped or posted and 16 grams uncapped. I am going to share a quick writing sample of this pen. I'm going to dip it into Waterman Serenity Blue. I need to write New Pen Day, and that's what I'm going to do with my TWSBI Mini with a reverse architect nib. New Pen Day. So you don't want to see how all of this around here looks. I'm using a bottle of Waterman Serenity Blue. I'm dipping this in here, and then I'm just getting rid of the excess ink. I saw Kirk Spear at the pen show do this when he was grinding my nibs, so now, since I saw this, I'm going to do the same. I feel like it distributes the ink better. So, what pen do we have here? This is the Sailor. Pro Gear. With a medium nib. And this is Imperial Black. And I already dip tested this because you saw the ink on there. I am so impressed by this nib. Several people told me previously that they thought the medium nib was almost too fine, but this one is definitely on the broader side. I don't know if this is because it is a coated nib, but yeah, it writes really nicely. The dip test is with Waterman, Serenity Blue. Let me see if reverse writing would work. Well, it's very fine. It's very scratchy. There is definitely ink coming out, and it's not stopping, so nice. Let's do the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So I am going to write my first impressions down here, but I will just tell them to you, and then once I'm done, I will write them down. I am really loving the finish of this pen. I love how it feels, the matte finish. I like how I in my fountain pen wish list video, I said stealth black, and that's exactly how I feel this pen looks. It's stealthy, but also super pretty. It's not like one of those classic black pens with the shiny finish with the gold trim everywhere. This looks so much more classy even than this. And I'm really impressed by how it looks. I didn't think I would like it as much. I mean, I purchased it because I liked it, but I also purchased this because of the price. That it looks so amazing is just a bonus in my opinion. And when I tested the nib, when I unboxed it, I made sure to check whether it was already opened. The bag that this pen came in was sealed. It did not look used previously to me opening the box. And this pen is fantastic out of the box. This pen writes nicely. I don't hear any I don't feel scratchiness in any direction. It it's a tiny bit bouncy, just like I like it. I tried writing with this on different paper, Tomoe River paper to be exact. Let me see if I can find the tester. Yeah. What I don't feel with this nib, and I don't know if this is because of it, the coatedness, or because it's a medium nib, and that feedbacky feeling that I had on the medium fine classic orange that I am borrowing from my friend Nadia, it felt there was so much feedback, and I don't have that here. And I'm curious to see how it writes on other papers besides Tomoe River paper 52 GSM and Cosmo Air Light. But yeah, that is a surprise. And a good one. I like the sailor feedback, but I don't want it to be so dominating that I can't feel and experience anything else. Like if I'm always hung up on the feedback, that's almost too much feedback. This is great. Yeah, so that is my first impression. I can't wait to ink this up. Unfortunately, I'm in the middle of my March rotation, and I know that I have the liberty to ink up as many pens as I would like. However, I just want to wait and give this, I don't even know what ink I want to put in here. I would not, for me, this, all of my pens can use any kind of ink. So I did not purchase this pen with any specific ink in mind. I'm not matching inks and pens with each other, so this is not an exclusively black ink pen. I would really love to see a very bright, very, like, maybe Pilot Iroshizuku Tsutsuji would be an ink that I would love to have in this pen, because it's just so, like, you have this stealthy black pen and then this very bright pink. I like that idea. Or a very bright orange, or maybe Iroshizuku Konpeki would be a good one that I can see myself using here. And it would make me so happy to have this black pen with a loud ink. That's totally me. What ink would you put into this pen? I'm curious to know, and I would also love to know if you have experience with this pen. I would like to know if you have experience with medium fine and medium Pro Gear nibs. Is there a really big difference in the feedback, or is it just this specific pen? Because the only experience that I have with medium Pro Gear nibs, and experience is a little bit much to be said about this pen yet, is this pen. And so I don't know if this is how it is all the time, or if this is just an exception to the rule. Awesome. I think I am done. I hope you enjoyed this little new pen day video. I can't wait to share what I think about this in future currently inked videos. And I hope you enjoyed spending a little time with me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.